Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Chinese New Year of the pig. This riverbed behind me is empty. We're in Taiwan, dry season. If we were in Northern Australia, all-time record rains, well, half a year worth of rain in a single day. An indication of the jet streams out of their flows. Magnetosphere is weakening, and this is what you can expect moving forward as the grand solar minimum intensifies.
Over 30,000 lightning strikes in Europe. Same words again being used. Unprecedented flooding in Australia. Satellite loop here. Moisture. Rescues of wildlife kangaroos. Historic flooding. Same words we've heard about the historic cold in America. Solar wind. No solar wind. Our magnetosphere is bending. This is the grand solar minimum. And during these uncertain times, I've teamed up with My Patriot Supply long-term food storage. A nice, affordable starter kit, 2-week food supply, 1,500 calories per day, breakfast, lunch, and dinners, plus the 4-gallon storage containers included in that. This is a good first step in getting more self-sufficient. And if you click through the Prepare with ADAPT 2030 page in My Patriot Supply, you can get this starter kit for $75. Please remember there's a limit of 2 per household in this special offer. And Happy New Year to everyone celebrating the Year of the Pig, Chinese New Year 2019. Earth's magnetosphere here, magnetic field of the Earth weakening due to our sun decreasing its activity state. This has severe repercussions on the way our jet streams flow and the amount of galactic cosmic rays that can penetrate our atmosphere and even cause more cloud cover. So when we're talking about the magnetic field of the Earth, magnetosphere, here's a representation of what you're looking at. And as we descend into the grand solar minimum, this is expected to weaken further. Atmospheric anomalies, 30,000 plus lightning strikes in winter. Northern Africa, Spain, Italy, and Croatia. Springtime, yes. Middle of winter, no. And where have we seen these words? Unprecedented, historic, all time. Well, that was the super freeze in the United States and Canada, but here we are, the same lexicon being used in the flooding situation, Bureau of Meteorology, Queensland, Australia. High velocity flows, Townsville, Cains. And what do they mean? Historic flooding continues. And it's going to continue to increase through Queensland over the next week. Now, Cains, 499% of their normal rainfall for the month, meaning 5 times the normal. And I thought that is incredibly interesting how much rainfall is coming down there. I bet a jet stream is in the wrong place and pushing moisture where it generally doesn't bunch this much in the atmosphere. And here it is, tropical moisture being pushed south of the equator. Once in a 100-year flooding event prompts Queensland evacuations, rescues, more rain this week. Now we've seen over the last couple of years as well, Outback, Woolloomooloo, Ayers Rock, waterfalls coming off of that, record rains in the desert last year. And now we have it in just a different location, this time northeast Queensland, north of Cairns. Really easy to pick out the moisture bands on this graphic here from the Australian satellite feed. This one's off of EarthStar. Now when we jump over to Null School, you can also see the vortex spinning over that same exact area, and you can see the jet streams coming up from Antarctica, pushing a cold front through Australia. Now this historic flooding is going to continue, but the Daintree River, all-time record height, 41 feet. And then the next paragraph down, it says the heaviest rain since shifted a little further south into Townsville with 20 inches of rain. So I thought to myself, how much is 20 inches in their total, yearly total? And half. So January usually picks up around 9 inches, which is double the average. But then the annual rainfall over there on the right side, far right, 40 inches. So they received half their yearly total in just a few days of rainfall. This is not normal. This is another indication that grand solar minimum is intensifying. The same things. The magnetosphere is weakening. Jet streams are moving out of their flow. Townsville has been declared a disaster zone. So much so that individuals are making animal rescues. Now you got to realize kangaroos are really fast animals, and they were unable to outrun these floods. We saw the same thing with the cockatoos Earlier in the year with the hailstorms, they were unable to outrun preceding weather fronts, which are really good at picking up the electrical activity preceding the front, yet they were unable to escape a pounding by almost record-sized hail. And here we are, same thing. Animal life not able to cope with the massive rapidness of the onset. So much so that crocodiles and snakes are now taking refuge in trees. Now you got to realize that when crocodiles are getting out of the water because there's too much water, maybe it is unprecedented. Aerial view here of Townsville. Gives you a good indication where the center is, the river there, how far it's flowing out of its banks. Now the Australian media last week was saying, oh, record hot, because it was warmer than usual. They broke a couple temperature records by 1 or 2 degrees Celsius upward. But then it was followed quickly by a cold front and subsequent pockets of cold northeast. And then this latest event as well. Looking here at the cloud loop, top right, Australia, Papua New Guinea. Tropical tidbits dropping us in on the temperatures. So we see another cold front proceeding from Antarctica up into Western Australia, but you can see how much the temperatures dropped in this rain event. Now, this is all about magnetosphere, solar wind, magnetic effects from the sun to our Earth. This is off Smash-O-Mash. He does a geospace rundown daily. This is when the solar wind is pretty high, plasma density, and then suddenly no solar wind. And you saw how it puffed, if you will. Usually that solar wind is what pushes our magnetosphere, keeps it tight, just like you're seeing here. But then when the wind releases, and that's what we're getting into, we're going to go for years with very minimal solar wind, and this is what you're going to get. So when you see our magnetosphere behaving strangely and the jet streams going out of their flow, this is a simple explanation of what's happening. It's not CO2, it's not you, it is definitely the sun. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. If you like more analysis and commentary about the grand solar minimum like this in a 30-minute segment, mini Ice Age conversations, anywhere you can find a podcast hosted across the net. And if you're into 1-minute snippets of information, the rundown on Adapt 2030 social media feed, going to be adding Minds and Gab inside there as well.